Yes. God, Yes is a coming-of-age dramedy directed by Karen Maine, starring Natalia Dyer as Alice, a devout Catholic teenager trying to navigate the confusing world of high school, faith, and self-discovery. Set in the early 2000s, the film explores the struggles of growing up under strict religious teachings, dealing with peer pressure, and learning to think for yourself. Alice is a well-behaved student at a Catholic high school in the Midwest. She follows the rules, attends Mass, and does her best to avoid anything that could be considered inappropriate or sinful. But despite her efforts, she finds herself feeling confused about things she was never really taught how to handle. One day, while using the family computer, Alice stumbles into an AOL chat room where she has her first encounter with a world outside her strict upbringing. It's a small moment, but one that sparks curiosity and a sense of guilt. She quickly closes the window, but the feeling lingers. She knows she's not supposed to explore certain topics, but she doesn't quite understand why. At school, Alice's life takes a sharp turn when she hears a rumor about herself. Apparently, people believe she did something inappropriate at a recent party. The problem? She wasn't even there. But in a place where reputations are built on whispers, the truth doesn't seem to matter. Even though Alice insists the rumor is false, it gets under her skin. If people already believe it, does that mean they see her differently? And why does she feel guilty about something she didn't even do? These thoughts begin to weigh on her, making her question everything she's been taught. Hoping to clear her conscience, Alice signs up for a 4-day Catholic retreat, a program designed to help students strengthen their faith. It's supposed to be a time of prayer, reflection, and renewal, but instead, it only makes Alice's inner struggle worse. As the retreat unfolds, Alice notices that the very people enforcing the rules don't always follow them. She catches Chris, a popular boy known for being a model Catholic student, sneaking off with another girl. Meanwhile, Father Murphy, the priest leading the retreat, gives strict lectures about resisting temptation. Yet Alice later discovers that he secretly watches things he tells others to avoid. The more Alice sees, the more she realizes the double standards surrounding her. It's not just about what's right or wrong. It's about control, judgment, and the fear of being labeled as someone who doesn't fit the mold. Feeling overwhelmed, Alice sneaks away from the retreat and stumbles into a small roadside bar, where she meets an older woman who listens to her worries without judgment. For the first time, Alice talks openly about her feelings, her confusion, her guilt, and the pressure she's under. Instead of scolding her, the woman offers a different perspective. She tells Alice that not everything she's feeling is bad, and that maybe she doesn't have to accept everything she's been told without question. Returning to the retreat, Alice sees things differently. She realizes that some of the strict rules she's been taught aren't necessarily about faith, they're about control. She also understands that the people judging her aren't perfect themselves, and that she doesn't have to live in fear of making mistakes. Before leaving, she subtly confronts Father Murphy about what she saw on his laptop. He looks nervous, but Alice doesn't make a scene. She simply walks away, knowing she no longer needs his approval. Back at school, Alice stops worrying about the rumors. She no longer tries to prove herself to people who don't know the real her. And in the final scene, she sits down at her computer, revisits the same AOL chat room, and smiles, because for the first time, she's ready to figure things out on her own terms. Yes, God, Yes is one of those rare films that manages to be both hilarious and deeply meaningful at the same time. Karen Maine's direction perfectly captures what it's like to grow up in a world filled with strict rules, high expectations, and unanswered questions. It's a coming-of-age story that feels real, relatable, and refreshingly honest. Natalia Dyer delivers an incredible performance, bringing Alice's journey to life with humor, awkwardness, and just the right amount of frustration. She perfectly portrays the experience of being a teenager who's trying to do the right thing while struggling to understand all the confusing feelings that come with growing up. Dyer's performance is subtle but powerful. Every expression on her face tells a story, whether it's her confusion, embarrassment, or the quiet moments where she realizes she's being lied to. For anyone who grew up in the early 2000s, Yes, God, Yes is a blast of nostalgia. From the dial-up internet sound to the AOL chat rooms, the film perfectly captures an era when information was limited and curiosity often led to guilt. While Yes, God, Yes is full of funny and awkward moments, it's also a film that asks important questions. It highlights the way strict environments can make young people feel ashamed for things they don't even understand. It exposes the hypocrisy of those who claim to be role models but don't follow the same rules themselves. But most importantly, it's about learning to trust yourself. Alice's journey isn't just about breaking free from guilt. It's about realizing that she has the right to question things, make her own choices, and decide what she truly believes in. The final moments of the film leave us with hope. Alice doesn't become a completely different person overnight, but she takes her first steps towards self-acceptance. She realizes that life isn't about following someone else's strict set of rules. It's about finding your own path. Yes, God. Yes is funny, sharp, and refreshingly honest. It's the kind of film that sticks with you long after the credits roll. Whether you grew up in a religious environment or not, Alice's story is relatable to anyone who has ever questioned the things they were told to believe. With a great performance from Natalia Dyer, a smart script, and a perfect mix of humor and depth, Yes, God, Yes is a must-watch for anyone who enjoys coming-of-age films that actually have something to say.